Simple stream, simple idea, simple rules. Let's see how it all goes. Da-da. Okay, got a couple of these guys, and as the description says, I'm feeling impatient today. I got this many and a couple others built up and ready to go. I want to paint them all so that way I can stream soon and actually get these guys painted. However, I don't want to have to start painting them and do nothing on the next stream, so I just want to get these guys quickly primed while I got time. That, and also I stream from my phone, so my phone's got limited battery life, so we do what we can here. Hey, Roosh. Ooh, sorry. Lost my voice there, I guess. Hi, Roosh. How's it going, man? For me, it's going all right. As the title can say, I am feeling a little impatient because I'm very excited for the three guys that I got built up here. And also, this arrived yesterday. And I don't know if I've explained this too much on stream, but Cicalia, basically half human, half octopus creatures, are kind of my favorite creatures in mythology, so I really wanted to start painting her as soon as I opened her, but yesterday I was trying to focus on getting these guys built up. So I'm doing pretty good. Feeling a little excited, just getting a quick stream in now. Then probably gonna stream later again tonight. Mostly just trying to get this all done. Main issue being that I stream from my phone, so even if I have my phone plugged in, it's gonna die within 2.5 hours, so I stream when I can. So I figured I'll get these guys primed, and then later tonight I'll get them painted up. Pretty good on your side? That's good to hear, man. And thank you again for all the links you sent me to check out for the extra bits. I don't have a lot of cash right now due to being injured. Haven't been able to go to work for a while, but I'm definitely going to get some of those when I get the chance because they are exactly what I need for some of this stuff. Especially considering the fact that last night I found out in the Jump Pack Intercessor kit, all the melee weapons are left hand only. There are no swords that go in the right hand, and that bothers me. I know I probably just have to... I haven't been able to check a library yet. I was going to go to the... There's 3 libraries in the 2 towns over by me, so I was going to go check out all 3 to see if any of them have them. I just haven't had the time just yet. But yeah, I think I just need to buy a box of regular intercessors so that way I can have melee weapons in the right arm.
Oh. You gotta see the cats.
Pardon?
You gotta see the 2 cats.
Why?
Little Miss is wearing a diaper. Big Miss is all curled up around her trying to comfort her. On the floor, they're at a TV set.
Oh,
Look,
all right.
it's hilarious.
Sorry about that. Might have the prices listed online because you have to reserve the time on the printers. Ah, interesting. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I've just been stuck at home because my neighbor was chopping some trees, so the road was blocked, and the last thing I want to do is get in the way of a couple of guys chopping a bunch of trees down as I'm trying to drive around. But yeah, I plan to check it out soon, and the one thing I'm probably going to need to do is I'm probably going to have to buy a box of regular intercessors so I can have melee weapons in the right hand. Because, I don't know, it rubs me the wrong way that you gave me a power fist, you gave me a bunch of chain swords and then a power sword for this guy, but they're only left-handed, nothing in the right hand for melee. That, I don't know, I don't like that. Like, I understand why, from a tactical point, some guys would do it, but all of them is just kind of, eh. You're not wrong. However, I've got enough problems with my car that I can't fix as is, because I don't got the money to get the parts to fix all of it up. So, I like to limit the amount of trees going through my car right now. Once I get some cash flowing in and I can actually afford some repairs, I'll risk it a bit more. But yeah, no. So mostly just been here and just kind of felt like that SpongeBob meme of looking at these guys unprimed sitting on my desk thinking, I don't need to. And then in 5 minutes, I took a picture and got stream started screaming, I need to prime these guys ASAP because I want to paint them. So, that is true. Trees never do complain about my music. Granted, I feel like you have to be a certain kind of person because I listen. So I changed a few things around, and I've got my degenerate quail account instead of my personal account with my actual name for what I listen to for music, and I'm paying that for YouTube music so I don't get ads. And I just have a bunch of white girl music right now from the 2000s. So when I'm driving around town, I'm normally blasting a bunch of Cascada, which I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten some concerned looks from people as I'm dancing in my car seat as I'm listening to "Dangerous" by Cascada. I have no shame with that though because Cascada has always been a bop. And thankfully, I haven't found anybody who hates every Cascada song yet. So, normally when I've got the aux, most people are fine with my music choice. It's normally when there's one person who described some of my music as what a single dad in his 30s listens to. I think I was like 24 at the time. I'm like, I haven't even been married yet, but gosh dang, I'm already turning into a father. That's not good. Yes, Avril Lavigne, not a lot of Ashley Simpson, and I don't have any Justin Timberlake on the playlist yet. It's mostly Kesha, Katy Perry, Britney Spears, and Cascada. And a little bit of Rihanna, because Rihanna's got some good hits. I will always get down to SOS. Okay. But yeah, that. I'm. Because with my gym workout music, I definitely listen to some other stuff like Cryoshell, which, for the people who forgot who Cryoshell were, they are the music group that Lego created to do for all of their Bionicle commercials after the success from the All American Rejects Move Along commercial came out with Otoa and Ika. And so I do listen to a decent amount of Cryoshell. S&M is a good one from Rihanna. S&M is a good one. However, I feel more bad if I'm blasting S&M than if I blast SOS. SOS is a little bit more tame. Because if I'm blasting S&M, I try to be careful with where that one's blasting out of my speakers when I'm driving. Because I'm in a small town area by a bunch of schools. And the last thing I need is to be blasting S&M outside of an elementary school. Like, I'll get down to it, but I'll get down to it carefully. I do not need to be that bad of an influence. I can be a bad influence anonymously on the internet. People can track me if they see my car's license plates, and I am not about that. Oh my goodness gracious. Much as I love the basing ideas I have for these guys, I'm not gonna lie, trying to prime the friggin' coral, as you can see, has not been easy because I cannot get that to layer evenly. So we're gonna call those guys as good as I can. Then we're gonna get back to getting the bottom of this one painted up because we are just about finished there. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. Good song choice, but yeah, that would definitely get people confused for the right reasons. Or so I would say, but still. Uh, Okay. I still need to find like something to glue to the bottom of this bass because this one's still super top heavy. With the pose I gave him, he leans back a heavy amount that I need to find something to counter that balance with. I don't know if there's enough thin rocks outside that I can just glue to the bottom of his bass here. Case in point, that guy keeps tipping over. Okay. I mean, honestly, the best music is the music that you vibe to in that current moment. That has always been my stance, and so I may be biased because I do get down to Post Malone, because I think he's got good emotions. He's got some relatable emotions in his music that I think is very underrated, and kind of the reason why he exploded the way he did. But hey, I think the phrase people have been using on the internet recently is just calling themselves polyamorous. Just because you listen to all music. And I'm very much that way, though it feels weird to say, just to throw poly in front of anything for me. Eclectic. That's the refined word for it. That's the refined word. That's the correct word to use. However, with all the memes and people going around, I just see polyamorous all the time that I can't. That's what's stuck in my head. Again, I think it's cringe, but the problem is it catches on. And the problem being Gen Z is that if something catches on, it's going to stick in my head better. I mean, call it whatever you want. My name has me solidified for how I take a stance on most things as is, so. The... I mean, I do that too. I'm not even gonna hide from that one. Yeah, I do that too. So I definitely fit the definition. Begrudgingly so, but I do it. Okay. Then we're gonna get this guy primed while I just have a bunch of primer left over. But yeah, no, that I just keep seeing memes about it because I do occasionally go and post on TikTok, and I just get, I don't even know how it first showed up on my For You page, but I just started seeing a bunch of random stuff. One of them being different remixes that were unhinged, like mixing country music with hip hop music. Not something I expected to like, but I could get down to it. And then people started doing the AI country song challenges. And gosh, my For You page has been borked ever since that. Because some of those are so funny and so dumb. But because I liked a few of them, now they're everywhere on my page. Oh, gosh dang it. That glue is not holding you on steady. You're supposed to be glued for over a week. For You page, basically it's just your recommended or the viral page on TikTok. I did use 4chan for a while. However, 4chan I think got shut down and I haven't actually checked on the page in a while. Yep. Basically, For You is supposed to be like the FORYOU, so it's essentially just supposed to be, this is based on your likes, this is what we think you'll like to see. That's just what the For You thing. 4chan's for weebs. That is the kindest compliment anybody's given to 4chan. Holy crap. But yeah, no. I will say though, I am glad that we found out that that there were feds getting paid to post things on 4chan. Only because that means I have absolutely dropped a bunch of slurs on a federal agent anonymously, so it can't be traced to me. And calling a federal agent my favorite slurs is never a bad time. Look, I am a law-abiding citizen. I do believe in following the law. That doesn't mean I like the laws, however. And so I will and if I think you're being dumb, I will use my favorite words to let you know. But yeah, last I heard 4chan got shut down. And so because of that, I just haven't really checked in on it or been on it. Because I'm certain that there has to be some part of 4chan that still exists out there. However, for TikTok, I started posting short videos on there because I wanted to practice editing, but since I normally like doing long-form content on YouTube with my original videos, I just wanted to do something short for videos that don't deserve 10 minutes, but that I wanted to make a review of. And to this day, TikTok has my most viewed video at 31,000 views or something like that. I haven't checked in on it in a while. But, so, sadly, my TikTok has been doing better than my YouTube for a long time now. But, that's how it goes. You never know what platform you're going to do better on. I just take it in stride and do what I can. That's fair. Yeah, I'm with you there, Rusha. I'm with you there. Especially anybody who works with the IRS or the ATF. I mean no shade, but you are in the wrong business if you want me to think anything decent of you. That is all I will publicly say on that matter. And I do believe that the ATF should be the name of a store and not a federal bureau. But that's kind of apparently a controversial opinion to have. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. But yeah. Outside of that, though, just mostly I've just had a lot of cabin fever today. So, with enough cabin fever, 2 streams in one day doesn't sound like that bad of an idea. So, we got that guy done. Then, gonna let him dry off. Then I can get started on this one because I got some new paints I would need to try out. For context on why I'm so excited is because a little while ago I bought this set, the Vallejo Imperial Purple, because I wanted some new purples to mess around with because I only have a handful. I have like 2 of them, and I wanted to see what I could actually get working with them. So I'm gonna try some of the Imperial Purple and some of the Witch Purple to see how those work, because I think just a darker purple on the tentacle with a weird purple on the skirt between, the skin skirt between tentacles, I think could be interesting. But first, I gotta thin some paints. Ta-da. Yeah. Let's get that thinned out a little bit, and we shall see how this looks. Let's see. Yeah, that seems like the purple I do want for this model, so I'm just gonna get that lathered onto the other tentacles real fast. Take care, man. Hope you don't suffer too much tomorrow morning. But sounds like a plan. Sounds like a decent dinner. I That's kind of the reason why I definitely don't go to Taco Bell anymore. Is my stomach just can't handle the morning after I go. But take care, man. Hope it goes well, and hope that it tastes great, like normal. If not, then oof. That's a good one, Crab. That's a good one. Then welcome, welcome, man. How you doing? Uh, but yeah, as I kind of put on the stream titles, this is kind of one of my favorite fantasy creatures of all time for those who don't know. And so, since I got her yesterday, I wanted to prime and paint her up. So, with Cabin Fever, there's only one thing to do, and that's to do at least a stream to get her started. Though the purple that we're using, it's definitely going to take multiple coats to get her nice, even, and vibrant. Oh, that's where I put it. Okay. Just throwing a little bit more purple into my palette because I think the water might have thinned it a bit too much. I mean, sure, I'm using Vallejo paints, so they are going to be fairly thin as is, but still want to make sure that I got them thin enough that I keep the details, but I don't have to worry about getting too many coats. Okay. All right. Then what do I want? I kind of want to color in the staff and the spear while I got a chance. But how do I want to do this? All right. So I'm just going to throw up a poll for you guys. Just because I am unsure what to paint the spear. Because there's a lot of ways we can go about this, and I'm thinking either doing it something just metallic like normal, as that's a bit more grounded, or we do a bit more of a magical, like have some sort of like blue or green emanate as magic around the blade. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys while we try to paint the rest of her. and we will go off of that. Because I'm not entirely sure what I want to paint, and quite honestly, you guys normally have really good paint ideas and paint schemes in mind, so I am gonna leave that to you guys to decide my fate there. While I do that, I'm gonna mix up a few things on my palette, just so that way I can get started on painting the rest of the Cicalia. Da-da-da. I'm trying to wait for that purple to dry a little bit, because I like how it looks when it's wet, but when it dries it's probably going to look very different, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to like it or not. And in the meantime, let's find... Definitely want to do something lighter for the skin. So I'm going to try a little bit of blueberry and see if that works for the skin on the torso human portion. Part of me just got to clean off my brush real fast, just while I get everything figured out. I'm gonna thin this out a bit. Okay. That. Oh, thank you, Kylie Crab. Yeah, I'm just facing some decision paralysis just because I can see it going either way. Like, either it could be good, it just depends on the paints I use. Just depends on. But I figured giving you guys some choice on what I decide to paint the spear for the end product probably just be a little bit more fun. Because that's what I did last time with the Chimera. Because somebody suggests I just paint the tail, like the snake tail, red. Turns out I liked it, so figured I will just have you guys come up, give me that, make it easier for me to make that decision, and then I'll go from there. Because then from there, we're going to have to, depending on what color scheme we choose, we then have to go with what kind of colors we want. Also, I know it's cliche for me to say I like Ursula, but I will admit it is embarrassing that it took me, I think, halfway through painting this torso for me to realize that the skin color is very close to, at least in person, the skin color looks very close to Ursula's. I'm embarrassed to say I didn't even try to make this look like Ursula, and yet somehow I gave her a similar skin tone. And I'm about to give her a mix of white and gray hair. So I'm not off to a good start if I'm trying to hide my bias and my preference here. Must admit. If my camera will focus, of course. I mean, yeah, second movie had her sister in it, so we can definitely have a cousin just to indict the whole family. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave the skin alone for now. I'm just going to clean off my brush. And then I'm going to get started with getting her hair done. Ta-da. So throwing her back there, that's how the camera focuses better. Good to know. Okay. Now I need a brush. I did not know that at all. Goodness gracious. That's impressive. Yeah, yeah, very much so. That's just intimidating to think about. I mean, at least for me, it feels intimidating. But I grew up with this very small family, and so that many people just terrifies me because I don't think I'd be able to handle that. Truth be told. I'm gonna throw her down and let that hair dry off. Then we're gonna try for getting between the tentacle flaps. Because I had an idea for that color. I feel like this paint could be just a tad bit thicker. Because I like the color, but it's a little more watered down than I expected. Gosh dang, yeah, this paint is super thin. Okay. Looking over everything, I like the purple. I'm gonna need to do some more coats because that dried super dark compared to what I need. Just for comparison, this is the bottle I used for the tentacle purple. There's a bit of a difference here. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get a thicker mix of this, and then I'm gonna do a few more passes over the main parts of the tentacles again, just to get that darkened up a bit. Because so far, the witch purple is definitely doing what I want it to, of giving a good highlight to the tentacles that make it look slightly magic-y and evil. So overall, that part's a success. And then we're gonna need to figure out, so we said magic color for the spear from the pole so far. If that's the case, I also need to figure out what exactly we want to do for how that magic will look. So we got some things to think about. But overall, I do like how it's coming together, so. We have a few more passes to the other side of the tentacles, just to try to get that color introduced at the bottom there. And then I'm going to have to break out some milliput so I can give some texture to the base. Because I'm thinking about doing is I think I just want to do a simple wavy pattern for the sand at the bottom of the ocean or something. Just because I don't have any rocks at the right size that can get woven into the tentacles. Gonna do some more passes just to get that purple to be a bit more vibrant on the outer part of the tentacle. Because the witch purple's doing fine, the imperial purple's drying a little too dark. Need it to just be a bit more darker. Because now I want to try a different purple, because that one's just not... It's just drying so dark, I can barely see it. We're gonna try a bit of Orchid Light and see if there's any way that might dry a bit more vibrantly. Because quite honestly, I want the tentacle, like the purple tentacles, to be a bit more vibrant. Just because if I want to do tentacles that dark, I might as well just paint them black. However, I'm nervous that if I do, that Disney's going to come after me because I just stole Ursula's cousin from them before they released a movie or something. Who knows, maybe I just didn't read one of the books, I don't know. We're going to try on a different tentacle to see how this turns out. Or maybe I just need to do a base coat of something like this, and then throw the imperial purple over it, so that way it darkens it without getting too weird. We'll just see how it turns out once this dries out. Okay. I'm going to give it a little while just so that tentacle can dry, and then I'm going to throw some imperial purple over it to see how that works. Meanwhile, just while I have everybody's attention, I think I'm just going to end to the poll there. But it seems like we're doing a magic color scheme for the actual spear, so the question then is, what kind of colors are we thinking about putting on the blade then? I would think a nice green around the edge of the blade might make for an interesting contrast. But what would you guys think? Because I think a green would just stand out nice from all the purple, but I'm not entirely sure. Because I would think that Warpstone Glow would be good as like a magic green color on it. That just stands out more for the spear, but depends on. Well, I figured you guys would probably have a better idea than I do. Because if I go off of just intuition, then we'll see how it goes, but no promises there. Meanwhile, I just gotta clean off my brush. Gosh dang. Thank you, camera, for focusing on the thing we've been painting for the past hour now. That, I do appreciate it. Then, seems mostly done. Let's give a glaze of this over the top. Okay, yeah, that works monumentally better. Alright. I'll have to mix with the layering a little bit to make it work better, but yeah, that is much more vibrant, and that's what I was hoping for, so we're gonna go with getting all those tentacles layered up, and then we shall throw Imperial Purple over them. Alright. I'm going to continue painting this up off stream. But right now I've got a friend who's going to be starting streaming soon, so I'm going to go watch her for a little bit. Just while I... Because I want to wait for this purple to dry off before I throw the Imperial purple on to make the tentacles a bit more vibrant. Because right now, they're just not showing up well. So I'm going to fix that off stream, and then I will stream later tonight. Once I'm done and once my phone charges a bit. But thank you everybody for showing up for a little bit, for joining me, and I will see you guys whenever I see you next. Take care until then.